Rio de Janeiro City, Rio de Janeiro Federative Unit, Brazil, 19 July 2022. We are working our model. The first part we could have a quick review and an overview and observe that you are convicted by a lot of crimes, criminal offenders. And we have this model as defensive structure, as defensive line, security plan, traders, Pagini, considering an international global company with limits as observation, because it's an international global company, but not a global company doing international business. Then we have the Donald Trump, which was the chair number one of the most influential nation. In the second moment, then we can observe that by interval notation, the segment Vagini goes up here but have limits as empty ball. Donald Trump has total influence at the globe or in the same fields as this international business machine company. He can kind of operate and support the needs at this law enforcement maybe. Then we'll check that the second moment we had the Joseph Blatter and Mr. Jeremy Valk. They two both was in Brazil on Budget. And on Bank America, we have Mr. Mike Pompeo and Paul Krugman that has a lot of theories about the international economy. Am I wrong? Mr. Mike Pompeo was the secretary as chief of the State Department in America. In my opinion, is one of the most relevant departments in USA. It's the State Department. Go along with the government, but not belong to the government as an exclusive asset. It's a department of USA. The state, like the state power that is executed by the judicial power. Do not get along with America, imply the Constitution is a treason when you sell or offer your judicial power for advantage. The bank was led by Mr. Mike Pompeo because the global company has a suggestion to have inside at the very first moment the Federal Bureau of Investigation that will operate inside the company that do global business, and as American company must observe the American law plus the American Constitution, having in mind that the contracts made on America goes by American regulatory premises at first. We suggested this. Then we recommended to have inside the CIA as new financial department to work the financial intelligence and observe the tax evasion inside the company. That you implies the decreasement at your treasury plus the financial evasion as money walk around and sometimes fake money that has a production all around the globe, considering the Brazil, and by silence you wouldn't get this, and by fake records you have no idea about a thing. But the financial intelligence can help you, especially by the inference, supporting the judicial power that do the decision in many cases by inference made. As social psychology and behaviorism, it is against this research, so of course that you are against the law. And you can present your reasons by law, only confirming that the inference has a validation, and your accusation is a success, for sure. One more time. The situation is that the Mr. Mike Pompeo can carry the information relevant that the American bank system and have the communication with Mr. Jens Stoltenberg and Emmanuel Macron, which is a banker, I would say, on Europe. Stoltenberg had the chair number one on NATO and still have, and was kind of presented to this table with clear cards and movements, and having the sense that the Russia has their own way of do things, and they do things exactly in the way they presented themselves mostly all the time as communism. They are kind of the real thing as communism. I have no doubt about this. Then, and they had the FIFA 2018 like Brazil had the FIFA 2014. Brazil kept their mouth shut, and we are having all this by this. And Russia will cooperate. I bet they will. Then we will observe that we have regulators on far future, but not so far, America 2028 and accomplished makers. And in the near future, Mr. Jürgen Stock, which was the chair number one of Interpol, that Brazil got along very soon in this period and kind of had embarrassed situations on it. Drago Coles, anti-corruption chair, OECD, equally an accomplished maker. We will observe that the OECD complains Brazil many times and a dozen times before. But Brazil wouldn't have the interest as do with the Drago Codes and the OECD everything they do against me. If I have a second nationality as Portuguese, use a derogatory chair of NATO and the OECD, you did this against the NATO and the OECD criminal offender. See? Then we will check when you would like this chair back. I give you. I have no passion for this. So equally my nationality, I kind of had 2, 3, 4. I'm just a piece of flesh and bone got hardened by time. So we are all equals. Then we will check that the international business and administration put ourselves observing that the chair number one of international business machine has a limit as knowledge to apply, and this situation goes like this. The international business machine is a situation or a company inside the USA. See? Has limits as reading. But the chair number one of USA has kind of more space, I would say. It simplified the view of the things by the support they have. This range here, we can consider the N to do the analysis. In the same way, this range here, which is the Bayesian approach, is on our model as Gauss curve. We can have the distribution of values by frequency inside this area here. We can have the functional presentation of each one of those variables by this crude relation here. We can have the cross-cut of this distribution as function by the model we presented in the main room, considering the international activity like the area alpha, the area beta, the area AB, and doing the regression I will have the area A, the area B, the area AB. This is the same idea as regression, doing the normal curve as Gauss distribution, considering the space alpha and beta, having the interval A and B, and the free zone here trending to 0, and this will be here, and then we will have the movement one more time and the movement one more time. This is the idea This idea will help ourselves to get that the Brazil is audited. Nobody has a doubt about a thing here. It's clear. They are convicted. They are guilty. We observe that the simple presentation as those cures goes like this. Let me find the chart and I will have. Goes like this. Where is the chart? The chart is here. So we will have that is like this crap here. You have a sick mind consider this is a mafia. The mafia is a criminal organization. This is academic research or by law. And by aggression charging you. Can you get this point at the circle? Is the intersection. The intersection goes like this. You have the situation here as the empty space here. You have the situation here as the empty space here, and the situation here as the empty space here. As we could observe, the limits as my international business can cover the entire thing. Will be this zone here that kind of can't be covered by the sense of my company, but considering that we have a large range as perception that will cover this. And this coverage, I would say, will help to transfer this empty ball from here to here. From here to here, and we will have something like a bit larger. From here to here, and something a bit larger. Is this our model? Filthy animal is our model for sure. Alpha, beta, and gamma. But we are dealing with criminals that are hidden themselves in an institution by abusive procedure, misuse of prerogatives, and if I am a consumer and you do not respect my basic rights and guarantees at the diffuse area, you do not respect this relation at the global community as consumer and as a Fibonacci pattern can affect we all. Like the murder of someone by things you switch, violating the relation at the consumer market, even by the not authorized entrance inside a research space or a private space, of course that you wouldn't like to respect others' guarantees and basic rights, like we proved at this steering committee, because you commit fraud against the creditors at the legitimacy as judicial power to apply the penalty against you. And this is obstruction of just filthy animal. But this ball here is an empty ball, very, significant at the econometric model. I can consider this a residual thing. And I will do the regression. This big ball can be divided in 3 small balls as situation. And now we are talking about the east, the west, the east, and the center. Promiscuous area here. We had this chart at the lines below because I'm not gonna have a new post. I will upload at the post that you are having, and I have no idea if it will be today. We will check now that this global perception can be at the micro. In the same way, considering only the West, we will have Brazil segmented. We will have Brazil. We will have North America. I will put South America. North America and Europe. Right? Right. Then we will check that this has a functional relation in South America that I will call as A, North America B, Europe C. A can be related with B, can be related with C. But A having the relation as something hidden probably will do the dealings by something hidden B, something hidden C. Right? Right. And this something hidden B and C integrated indeed is something question mark that is equally at this area explicit in Brazil by the but get disintegrated fail. Our question mark now is an exclamation point during the hiring process of variables. Variables as explanation point with storage as scheme lambda having illicit storage of money are qualified as reality by measurement considering model all guilted both 2022 with you all kicking off from Brazil. Have a good night.